Now, listen here, Mean Gene. I am the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man too sweet to sour. I am Mr. Showtime, the whole freaking show, and this is another episode from the Critics Collective. And today we're going to talk about one of the most influential people in the WWE, and I'm not talking about that Hulkamania. I'm not talking about that. They're tied together, but I feel like Billy Graham, the superstar, the original superstar, does not get enough credit. And we're going to talk about the documentary called 20 Years Too Soon. It's the superstar Billy Graham, and you can see this on YouTube. But more importantly, if you just want easy access, Peacock will have that for you. Now, hit the subscribe button, like, and if you're looking for some cool swag like the camo hat or anything that we've talked about in the past, check in the description. We got some links that'll point you the right direction. We get a nice little kickback for that support that you show us. Now, on this one, it's an hour and 30 minutes on the dot. It came out in 2006, so 2006, and I've seen this twice. So what this is about, it's about the life of Billy Graham, and Billy Graham being a superstar that came up from NWA and later to other divisions, including the WWF at the time, now the WWE, and going through his ups and downs of his story. Now, for this, I enjoyed it because I didn't know much about Billy Graham. I'm a younger lad, but my dad was a big fan of him, and I remember him saying all the time, he would also say Hogan, but he would also say that Hogan stole this guy. I guess the kids would say his drip. His drip. Now, Dusty Rhodes is another one that stole somebody's drip. Put in the comments whose drip was, I guess, taken to a whole nother level. But anyways, I didn't understand it at the time, but watching and seeing stuff and with the curtain of professional wrestling being either torn down or revealed, or you can peek behind it and see how the business and the decisions that are good for business go. I do see what people like my father would say about Billy Graham, the superstar, and the Hulkster, Hulk Hogan. Now, let's go with the pros and the cons, starting from the bottom with the cons. The cons of this one was it was missing something. It was missing the fact that, and I mean this with a respectful way, Hulk Hogan did something to the business. And when I say something, it's something with an exclamation point. But so did Billy Graham. And to see how Billy Graham's gimmick and who he brought to the screen in various sold out shows and carrying himself as a champion and changing, and they mentioned it, but changing kind of how you look at a superstar. Again, in the WWE universe, we call them superstars. He was the first superstar, and I don't think a lot of young people, or maybe even people my age, would know who Billy Graham is. And I felt like there was something missing in this that just cemented that. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. But one of the items that I would say also is a con is they don't talk enough about, and I kind of mentioned it a little bit already, is the how close and the attachment between him and Hulk Hogan. I don't mean personally, because when you had the steroids trial that happened, that kind of went separate ways, and they do mention him kind of coming full circle back into the WWE's ecosystem. But brother, let me tell you, brother, listen here, brother. He was the first one to say it. But if you asked the majority of wrestling fans where that came from, you know where it came from, or at least you know what they're going to say. The tie-dye, there's a few times in the promo that they show the tie-dye, and the tie-dye is the same color tie-dye as the other guy, but they don't mention it. They even have the interviews from the other guy, and the other guy mentions 22-inch pythons, and I'm like, we're gonna glaze over the fact that one of these things look the same, but the other one doesn't, and I just can't put my finger on it. They don't mention it. They don't mention the boa. He's wearing the boa and he's doing stuff, and the way he's cutting promos, and there was he's doing some of the same thing. They don't mention it, but you can see it in the wrestling matches. Their skill set was very similar. It's not necessarily technical, but because of their look and their size, I think Hogan was bigger. But because of their look and their size, they're more of a power. If you're playing like 2K and you're selecting, they're more of a power. Their skill set, and They just really didn't go into it too much. The other thing about it is it's 2006. It does look dated how it was shot, and it just uh, I guess because I really want the younger generation to watch it. I don't know if they'll sit and watch it. I don't think it's edgier enough for the superstar to grab their attention. I think it's worth watching. I'll say that. Now, the pros of this, one of the pros for this is that it kind of has a pace or a flow that doesn't feel like an hour and 30 minutes. The superstars that they have that bring, they talk and have presenting information, I think is good. You got Triple H, you've got Vince McMahon, you have John Cena, Jimmy the Hart is in here, you have Shawn Michaels, Bruce Pritchard, Bruno is in here, Dusty Rhodes, baby. Um, and so I think they do a really good job. His wife, I think they do a really good job of telling his story. And then Billy Graham is there and he's telling his stories, his ups and downs. And they do a really good job of not holding back on the negative stuff. I think there was more back there that could have been like a how, but they do show a lot that makes you feel like this is also a redemption story, if you would. So I would love to see more, like maybe another one. I feel like again, I feel like when it comes to wrestling documentaries, I feel like if you're a superstar that's like done it, I feel like you should have 3 or 4, to be honest. Like whether it's just your matches, like Hogan has like an unreleased thing where it's a documentary, but it's really just matches that people have never seen in its entirety. And I think sometimes with certain superstars, you need that. At least I feel like you need that. You need the stats. You need to know how much they won. And you'll hear me say it over and over again. But what you'll never hear me say is we don't rate things around here because, oh, we do. We rate things from 5, excellent, all the way down to a 0, which is horrible. It's a squash match. So for this one, I'm not going to spoil anything because I feel like a lot of people don't know about Billy Graham, the superstar. And for this, it runs an hour and 30 minutes. You can see it on Peacock. What I would ask is hit the subscribe button, like, follow, share for more. We're doing wrestling, we're doing anime, we're doing new and old movies. We got some stuff lined up from the black and white movies that are coming out from the 1940s and 50s as we work our way up. But I would rate this a 4. I would strongly rate this a 4. Like I said, the only reason why I didn't put it a 5 is I felt like they shied away from the elephant in the room. And I felt like, especially even having that person there giving an interview and stuff like that, I felt like there should have been a clear moment that said, "Hey, this is where this inspiration came from." When you look at some of the biggest, if not the biggest, superstar in professional wrestling. And with that being said, you could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here. Check out some of these other videos and playlists that we have set up. Until next time, click a lick allow. Hit my music.
Said I'ma get into it first. Until they put me in the dirt. Said I'ma get into it first. Said I'ma get into it.